It's time to bring the curtain down on week 4 of the Simulation Football League's 18th season. Live from Fatality Field in Arizona, it's the Scorpions and the Revolution, or should I say, the Renegades and the Pharaohs, as we throw it back to SFL days of old tonight, as both of these teams look to their roots to hope they can find some success in the modern era. Hello and a very warm welcome to the broadcast. My name is Michael Trubetto. Happy to have your company and happy to have the company of Josh Zirkle in the broadcast booth. Josh, it's old looks, new rosters, and a new battle on the field tonight.
Absolutely, and for both of these teams, it's what have you done for me lately? Louisiana and Arizona both finished their opening week with wins and have not won since. Each of them looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak. Arizona, meanwhile, in this matchup, is on a 3-game losing streak. This is the 4th meeting between both of these teams. Louisiana has won every single time, Michael. And Arizona and Eddie Gage looking to get off the schneid here. DJ Moses is going to be a big factor in the attack for Arizona. And meanwhile, in Louisiana, they're working with a two-headed monster in the backfield, Colin Hart and Randy Squarebush.
It could be a battle of the running backs, but don't leave the quarterbacks out. Tommy Utah and Ashley Jackson are at the opposite ends of the experience scale, with Jackson a very experienced quarterback in this league and Utah just a rookie. Let's see if Tommy Utah can get his first passing touchdown of the season as well. I want to highlight Jerry Gahn as well as Phil Cause on stats tonight. Cameron Irvine is punching the buttons, making everything work, bringing the visuals to you. We are just about to get underway from Fatality Field. Thank you all for sticking with us for a late night on the East Coast. The kicker for Arizona is Cliff Allen, and we are underway in the all-white Louisiana, throwing it back to their days as the New Orleans Pharaohs will start at their own 20-yard line. Here's the Louisiana starting offense. Tommy Utah, in his 2nd season, I incorrectly called him a rookie earlier, my apologies, is at quarterback. Colin Hart and Randy Squarebush will share the running back duties. Cameron Collier is the fullback. Wide receivers, Anthony Delano, Chase Earl, B. Robo, and Garrison Blue offset eye, with 3 receivers to start the game, and it's going to be a free play for Louisiana. Airing it out down the field is Utah. It's deflected and incomplete. Nice job on the back end by Eddie Gage, but it will be a free play, 2nd down and 5. Here's the Arizona starting defense. D.D. Sachs, Mark Mello, Alex Constantine, and Hunter Norwood man that very talented defensive line. Joey Tropicana and Sean Moore at linebacker. Iverson Gamble, Parker Thomas, and Everett Garrison at corner. Safeties are Eddie Gage and Sean Allen.
The fans not thrilled, Michael, with that early penalty right out of the gate. Everybody's excited. Everybody's got some snazzy new duds on. You got to keep it natural. You got to play within yourself. You got to obviously play within the rules. You can't be giving out free yards this early in the game.
Yeah, first play of the game, you jump off sides, and Utah going to go to the air again. This time just checks it down to his running back. That's Colin Hart. And Hart picks up 3 more yards, bringing up 2nd down and 2.
The great experiment in Louisiana has been really interesting. Colin Hart and, of course, the rookie Randy Squarebush, one of the 4 high-profile running backs drafted in the 1st round of the most recent draft. Hart has been out carrying Squarebush by a margin of almost 2.5 to 1 so far in the season.
Yeah, Colin Hart, the veteran, long-time Sioux Falls player, definitely the feature back. He'll get the call out of the backfield on the swing pass again and pick up the 1st down out past the 30-yard line.
And that is catch number 50 on the season for Colin Hart. 8 years in the league. His 1st year here in Louisiana, obviously. He's been making it work.
Sorry about that. We wondered how run-dependent would this Louisiana team be after their rushing attack got absolutely stuffed last week by Tulsa. As there's another pass out into the flat. That's B. Robo picking up the catch. They still have not run on this opening drive. Total 83 yards rushing, and 70 of those yards came on 1 play by Colin Hart.
Well, Louisiana wanted not necessarily to rush the ball, but to control the clock and sustain long drives, and obviously healthy running backs are instrumental to that.
Utah going long, tipped in the air and incomplete. Tommy, Utah threw 5 interceptions in the loss to into Tulsa last week, so the frustration on the ground led to them airing it out a lot, and Utah paid the price.
Yeah, he did, and that Tulsa front four is very imposing, and they're going to have a lot of other quarterbacks' numbers as the season goes on. Obviously, they took care of business against Denver tonight, and that Tulsa team is looking really sharp right now.
Now they got just a dangerous front four to deal with tonight in sacks. Mello, Constantine, and Norwood. 6 sacks through the first couple of games. Make it 7 as down all the way back at the 30-yard line goes Tommy Utah. He gets dropped for the 9th time this season, and it's 3rd and way long for New Orleans.
And the sack from Dede Sacks, who had 2 on the season coming in. And that's going to be enough to get that defense off the field. Here comes the punt team for Louisiana.
Pardon me, it is 4th down, and that's the first time I've said New Orleans instead of Louisiana, so put one in the swear jar. TJ Punk on the return for Arizona doesn't get very far, as the Scorpions will start at their own 30-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense. Ashley Jackson in her 7th season in the league is at quarterback. DJ Moses at running back. Toriano Rivera at fullback. Ryan Owens, Connor Weston, and TJ Punk at wide receiver. Jay Hayden and Will Todd at tight end. Patrick Kelly, Sean Crooked, and E.J. DeQ are 3-star offensive linemen to keep an eye on for the Scorpions. Jackson in the gun. Floats it over the middle behind her intended receiver, who was Ryan Owens. And it is incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Here's the Louisiana defense. Brian Craven, Leonard Butler, Luther Gond, Ross Napoli, and Chance Wall on a very stacked defensive line. Chuck Diesel, Blake B. Craze, and Slyn Shady at linebacker. Even Arthur, Rolliman Hood at corner. Mike Ryan, Tank Bennett, and Dante Grimm at safety. They also have Walter Melanishin at punter. Here's play action. Jackson wide open down the field is Jay Hayden. 1st down. The tight end moves the chains.
And that is instrumental to get Ashley Jackson into a rhythm early. This is a tough Louisiana secondary. Any completion you can get against this group is going to be a good one. And when you get Jay Hayden this wide open, Michael, that's certainly nice as well. Evan Arthur playing very deep, giving Ashley Jackson a lot of respect here in the early goings. Paving the way for Jay Hayden to get that easy 1st down.
Jay Hayden on the season, only 5 receptions for 28 yards coming into the game. So the less utilized of the tight ends. Will Todd is the other one who has 144 yards on the season. We'll see him, I'm sure. Jackson avoids the rush. Staying on his feet through contact is DJ Moses, and he picks up 6 yards right to midfield.
And Moses will catch the ball out of the backfield. 25 receptions on the season so far for the 6th-year halfback. He's an important part of the offense. He has 26 targets, and that puts him 18th, Michael, on the SFL leaderboard.
Out of the eye. Here's the first carry of the game for Moses, and the first rushing play by either team. And Luther Gond is right there to knock him down.
And Moses, maybe not an elite running back in this league. Not having the kind of season Kevin Say's having, obviously, but doing a nice job. Hit the 100-yard mark last week, and is capable of doing it here.
Jackson floats it out to the far side. That pass is caught by TJ Punk, and Punk turns the corner and gets to the 40-yard line. That shows to the poise of the veteran Ashley Jackson.
Absolutely, and Punk running a great route there, 4th-year wide receiver. Catch number 10 on the season for Punk.
Out of the backfield, here is Moses. Moses, a spin move to get by 1 and then taken down after a gain of 6 yards. Something that Ashley Jackson will have to be wary of is the secondary for Louisiana. 10 interceptions through the first 3 games for the Revolution, including a league-leading 5 by Mike Ryan.
Yeah, and Mike Ryan's been outstanding since he came over from San Diego 2 seasons ago. Had a game with 3. And that could just as easily be Tank Bennett. I mean, 1 and 2, and then add Dante Grimm in there. Very lethal safety core for Louisiana.
Excellent one-on-one tackle down low by Brian Craven, and it's 3rd down and 5 for Arizona.
And this is where you want to shine in your passing game if you're Ashley Jackson. Not quite in field goal range. And those intermediate passing routes have been working. The short passing routes have been working. But now the defense has less field to cover. What are you going to do here?
3 receivers to the bottom side of the field. Jackson goes that way, and going to come up a yard short is Ryan Owens. Good job in one-on-one coverage on the outside by Louisiana defensively, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, and I think that was Rolliman Hood that came up to make that tackle. And that's the difference right there. The difference between defending a 40-yard field and an 80-yard field. You're able to come up there. Rolliman Hood basically took points off the board from Arizona. Instead of trying for a field goal, now they have to make a pooch punt.
Yep, and they are out of Cliff Allen's field goal range. Ryan Garcia is the punter. Will look to pin New Orleans deep, and they will. A beautiful punt and beautiful coverage as Louisiana are backed up to their own 4.
That's Parker Thomas doing the duty on special teams. And this is a great punt. It's going to check up right there at the 5, right into the hands of Parker Thomas. And that's why you like to have those cornerbacks back there. Who says the cornerbacks don't have great hands? Parker Thomas showing otherwise there.
And how about, the heads-up play by Thomas to know where that ball was going to bounce and be right there to prevent it from going into the end zone.
Outstanding.
Now what? Let's see if Arizona dials up the defensive pressure. It's going to be a running play, and going backwards is Colin Hart.
And like you said, Michael, this is some of the issues that Louisiana faced last week when they were playing Tulsa. And Arizona, no slouches on the defensive side of the ball either. Only 2 rushing touchdowns allowed by this Arizona defense on the season.
Loss of 2. Now Louisiana back at their own 2. Play action, throwing over the head of the defender. Sean Moore almost got to that, but B. Robo came up with it. And now it's 3rd down and 4 at the 10 instead of 3rd down and 12 at the 2.
And I think Louisiana, you just want to get some yards here. So if you do have to punt, the punter's got a little bit of breathing room. It doesn't have the goalpost breathing down his neck.
Utah, plenty of time in the pocket. Tipped and incomplete and almost intercepted. It was through the hands of Iverson Gamble, but the result is pretty much the same. It's going to be a deep punt for Louisiana, and the excellent punt by Cliff Allen for Arizona pays dividends in the field position battle.
Absolutely, and that just makes those first yards that Ashley Jackson gained on that first drive, Michael, even more significant. We got a flag on the field.
Not often you see a flag on 4th down. It's offsides against Arizona, and that'll give the Revolution a 1st down. It's the second encroachment call of the game. This one's going to go against Charles Oakley, the backup guard. And from the shadow of their own end zone, Louisiana has a 1st down.
Critical mistake. You let Tommy Utah off the hook. As a young quarterback, you got a chance to rattle him. You got a 3 and out, and then you blow it.
This time, Colin Hart has some space to the outside, an 11-yard run for a 1st down.
And if you're Louisiana, this is when you really want to punish Arizona for making a mistake like that. And this is how you do it. Colin Hart getting nice blocking there. That's Cameron Collier that's helped pave the way for him. And Eddie Gage has to come down from his safety perch to make that tackle. But Colin Hart has already moved the chains at that point.
And that is the type of run that we did not see at all from Colin Hart last week. But I'd say that is a vintage Colin Hart run. Move the chains, do enough to keep the drive going. We saw that so much when he was part of that dominant Sioux Falls team a couple of seasons ago that went to 2 straight SFL championship games. Here now is Hart out of the backfield, showing off the wheels, and gets another 12 yards and a 1st down.
And this is exactly what didn't happen last week. Colin Hart never really had a chance to get going. He didn't have these big 10, 12-yard chunk plays. doing it through the ground, and then that time on the swing pass through the air, making this defense move around. It's bad enough when you got to defend north and south, and there's Eddie Gage again coming over with the tackle. If Eddie Gage is making all the tackles in this game, that's going to be bad news for Arizona.
And I want to shout out Brian Craven, who's the offensive coordinator for Louisiana. He has done an excellent job in finding the holes in their game for the first couple of weeks and implementing a better game plan, at least in the early going in this one. D.D. Sachs makes the tackle there. That was Randy Squarebush on the carry. First time we've seen the rookie first-round pick out of Annapolis.
Yeah, and there is a bit of a learning curve for these rookies when they're coming in. And Squarebush, like Douglas Brown, spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. And a lot of people thought he was just going to be off the shelf, ready to go. Hasn't quite been the case in Louisiana.
Oof, Colin Hart back on the field, and immediately his back is on the canvas. Hunter Norwood charging through to knock him down.
And Norwood, just one of the outstanding defensive tackles in this league in his 9th season. 3 TFLs on the season already. 2 of those came last week. And he gets one there.
4 wide on 3rd and 10. Utah on play action, airs it out down the field, and it's caught behind the defense at the 20. B. Robo pushed out of bounds inside the 15-yard line as Eddie Gage once again makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
And that was a great throw by Tommy Utah. You didn't see it on the replay, but he just did his 7-step drop and let it rip. Robo had beaten the defense. Utah saw it right away, got the ball to him. And Robo was just that close to a first score of the game.
Hart out of the backfield, stopped immediately. Nice tackle by Everett Garrison, who Robo broke a tackle of on the previous play.
Yeah, Hart didn't break a tackle that time. Everett Garrison closing out on 400 career tackles all time. Tremendous milestone for the 7th-year cornerback.
Utah under center, floats it out to the far side. Pass is caught inside the 10. Only a gain of 5. It'll bring up 3rd down from the 8-yard line. That was Garrison Blue, the tight end, first contribution of the game for the 4th season veteran.
And already we're seeing Louisiana scale it back on offense. A swing pass to Hart, and then the 5 and out to Blue, the tight end. They're going with a quasi-spread look here, Michael, but I'd be surprised if they did anything frivolous.
Utah, 2-step drop,
Ooh.
Quick pass to the flat and a 1st down. Anthony Delano, the rookie out of San Jose, does just enough to move the chains, 1st and goal at the 2.
And Delano, the last player taken in that season 18 rookie draft. Louisiana had their eyes on another player, but due to league rules, were unable to sign that player. And Delano was still available from the San Jose flight, and now he's in a Revs uniform.
That is a beautiful pass, and barreling his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Louisiana on the board first, courtesy of Colin Hart.
And this is just what they were doing earlier, Michael, just going down the field on these swing passes. There's nobody there. Somebody's got to be guarding that pylon. Iverson Gamble there just a little too late. Colin Hart scores the first points of this game.
Well, Arizona brought Sean Moore off the edge instead of dropping him in coverage, leaving Colin Hart wide open. All he had to do was break 1 tackle, and you know Colin Hart breaks tackles for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and he was into the end zone to give the Revolution the lead.
He is an equal opportunity tackle breaker, to be sure.
Doesn't matter if you're a defensive lineman, corner, safety, linebacker. You come up against Colin Hart, there's a good chance that your back is going to be on the ground.
Louisiana jumping out to a 7-0 lead here. Continuing their dominance. Those New Orleans Pharaoh uniforms, purple and white, looking really sharp. And they do look like another team compared to the team that faced Tulsa last week, Michael.
I am very biased in saying this, but purple and gold and white is one of my favorite color combinations on any sports jersey anywhere. So I love these New Orleans throwbacks every time I get to see them. Spin move by Punk gets him to the 30-yard line, and Arizona will take over down 7-0. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Jackson back to work. Finds a receiver underneath. That's Will Todd. He is the more utilized of the two tight ends on this Arizona roster, and he picks up 6 yards.
Yeah, Arizona does not utilize their tight ends very much. Came into the week with 13 catches, which is not a lot, but at the same time, it's more than all their wide receivers except for Connor Weston, who has 15.
Nice run. Still going. Weaving through tackles, breaking more tackles inside the 30. How about DJ Moses? A big play to end the first quarter. And the Scorpions are in business. When we come back, it's Arizona trying to tie up the game with Louisiana. The SFL on YouTube.
Very breezy first quarter, Michael.
Yeah, second quarter underway between the Scorpions and the Revolution, wearing throwback uniforms today. Out into the flats for Moses, and Moses gets a short gain.
Tank Bennett flying in from the strong safety position to make that tackle. Guy not only intercepts, he can punish a running back here and there as well. Something I love to see from a defensive back.
Two wideouts to the right, an offset eye, and they're going to toss to the weak side for Moses, and a nice tackle in space. That'll go to Slyn Shady, former Las Vegas Fury player and former London Knight. In his 9th season of the SFL, he is the longest tenured player on this Louisiana team. Again, trying to get it to Moses on third down, and he comes up short. And the Louisiana defense has been all over that flat pass to Moses in this ballgame.
Yeah, and what Arizona's trying to do, they're lining twins up on the opposite side, trying to get the London secondary to roll the coverage over there so that there's no defensive back to cover Moses. The problem is he got run down twice by a linebacker, Slyn Shady on the first play, and then Chuck Diesel on the second, and now Arizona has to settle for a field goal.
This will be Cliff Allen from about 36, and it is up and good. So Allen on the season, 7 of 7, still perfect.
Perfect in his mother's eyes as well, and it's good for Arizona to get on the board. But now they need to find an answer to stop Louisiana. Colin Hart, so far having himself quite a game. That receiving touchdown is not the rushing so much as the receiving yards. He's getting about 4 yards a pop per catch. That's enough to keep the chains moving in this game.
And something I want to bring up as Oklahoma State. Wow, my head is all over the place. It is a late night tonight. New Orleans, hashtag Louisiana, will get the ball at their own 25-yard line. My point was Arizona has not really gone deep with Ashley Jackson throwing the ball yet today. I wonder if that's because of the pedigree of the Louisiana secondary. Nice sidearm pass for 8 yards, complete to B. Robo.
Yeah, and the 5 and out, 7 and out. Those out routes very prominent so far earlier in this game. You made the point about Ashley Jackson. Tommy Utah, not exactly unleashing the dragon so far either. Both quarterbacks playing it very conservative and showing their respective opposing secondaries a lot of credit, as well they should be.
Utah has that one long pass to Robo that set up their first touchdown. And now trying to get to the edge is Colin Hart. He cannot do it. Third down and 1.
Utah's got some options here. May go back to Garrison Blue. And Blue, for the record, literally set the franchise record for receptions for a tight end, reception number 76. Congratulations to Garrison Blue.
It's going to be hard. He's going to be patient, and he's going to pick his way through the defense and pick up a first down.
And I think that's going to be the difference in this game. Which team can sustain longer drives and which team can put the other team behind and force them to start taking shots into that deep secondary. And so far, Louisiana winning that battle.
Pump fake from Utah. Goes to the corner, knocked away. He was looking for Garrison Blue, like you said. But it was an excellent play by Sean Moore to step in front of that and knock it down.
Yeah, this is great. When you get pass coverage like this out of your outside linebackers, that just gives your defensive backs more confidence to work down the field and put them in dicier situations and more knocking away that pass. That's pass deflection number 12 all time for the third-year linebacker.
Into the flat for Hart. Hart lowers the shoulder and gets the boom dropped on him from the second defender coming through.
Everett Garrison, the first on the scene there, laid a pretty good lick on Colin Hart. Wasn't able to wrap him up, but slowed him down enough for the next guy to get there. Make that a pretty significant loss for Louisiana. Now 3rd and long, Michael.
They're down and 8. Utah pump fake going to the air, and it's just floated gracefully into the hands of the fullback, Cameron Collier.
And Collier, probably one of the most versatile fullbacks in the entire SFL. You can put Sawyer Stern for Vancouver in that category as well. But he plays more like a running back. He's able to run the ball, and as you saw there, able to catch it and hung on to it while taking a big shot from the opposing defense.
Slinging it again, somehow finds his tight end, Garrison Blue, amidst a sea of gray and green jerseys.
Yeah, great ball from Utah. Obviously a great catch by Blue. But this Louisiana offense now getting some momentum. And now 2nd and 1. Playbook's wide open. 42 yards to pay dirt. Do you take a shot here? Probably not in this formation.
2nd and 1. Already just 6 minutes to go in the first half. It's gone very fast. They're going to trust the fullback, and Collier gets it done, moves the chains.
Yeah, Collier great in short yardage as well. And that's impressive when you've got 2 halfbacks, and Colin Hart and Randy Squarebush, that you're still willing to give Cameron Collier some touches. As Louisiana has done, that tells you what kind of player Cameron Collier is.
Power eye now. Colin Hart the feature, and he's going to be dragged down from behind. Only a gain of 1 that time. Do you have a hot take? Want to show your appreciation for the SFL or show some love to your teammates? The league's new show, SFL Crunch Time, wants to hear from you. Post a video on Twitter with your take, or shout out and use the hashtag SFL Crunch Time, and you may just appear on the show this week. Want more details? Direct message Josh Zirkle on Discord. That's him right there.
That's
and
me.
We'll see you in Crunch Time. Nice deflection on the back end by Eddie Gage to deny a long pass there from Tommy Utah.
Yeah, we saw it. We saw Utah finally testing that secondary. And they were creeping up to play some of those more intermediate routes. And Utah thought he'd take a shot. Eddie Gage was there.
Eddie Gage, number 1 all-time in tackles, passes defended, and interceptions as Tommy Utah goes down all the way back at midfield. Hunter Norwood, the former Tallahassee Pride player, talking about throwbacks right there, charges through and brings him down.
Yeah, that 3rd log situation, Norwood knew he could just pin his ears back and go get his man. Utah was they were thinking about that deep ball, that trips to the bottom, but Utah not able to set his feet in time.
Second punt of the game coming out from Melanishin. And that one's going to bounce inside the 10, and momentum carrying it into the end zone. Quick look at the stats so far in this game. Louisiana on top on the offensive side of the ball, except in yards per play, funnily enough. Arizona has the edge there.
That is a bit of a surprise. But we've got a lot of football left. And I think Louisiana's done a better job of moving the ball more consistently and avoiding negative plays.
Snap to Jackson. Again in the flat to Moses, and Moses is run out of bounds. That was Slyn Shady again. So the linebackers, as you mentioned, Josh, very quick laterally. And he's shutting down this short passing game to DJ Moses so far.
Yeah, quick is the word. I mean, they're playing from sideline to sideline. Not from the line of scrimmage to probably 7 yards deep. These guys have covered a lot of area. Talking about Craze, Shady, and Diesel.
This time there's some room for Moses to run, but again, he can't break that first tackle. Excellent job by Rolliman Hood to hold him up.
Yeah, once again, Moses trying to benefit from that cleared out region on the opposite side of the field. But that Louisiana defense holding strong. They are getting to Moses at the point of attack. Only led him a couple of yards that time.
Now 3rd down and 3. Jackson to the air, knocked away. Slyn Shady again has been jumping out of his shoes in this first half, and Arizona goes 3 and out.
Yeah, and you could put almost all that on the linebacking core, just making plays, flying to the football, and covering tremendous amounts of area. And once again, Ashley Jackson refusing to test that secondary with Mike Ryan, Tank Bennett, and company.
Haven't really gone deep yet, and now Ryan Garcia is going to punt it away for the second time in the ballgame. The first time he pinned Louisiana at the 4. Not going to happen this time. Fair catch called for just inside the 40-yard line by Anthony Delano. So 4:03 to go in a very quick-moving first half. Only 7-3 between Louisiana and Arizona. And both teams are really trying to get their running backs hyper involved in this game. I think the only difference is that Louisiana has opened up the passing game a little bit more successfully.
A little bit more. Utah with the shot downfield, the B.E. Robo. So far the difference in this one.
Pass into the flats. And that comes to Chase Earl, his first catch of the day. 130 yards in this first half for Utah.
Just a great ball. It's the same route we've been seeing. Arizona giving Utah some respect, trying to cover the entire field as much as they can.
Yeah.
And Utah just taking what the defense has given him.
Utah only 271 yards on 56.1% completion last week against Tulsa. Of course, no touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Utah across the middle again. He floats it into a window the size of a bread box, and Chase Earl comes down with it.
And that's outstanding for a guy who hadn't touched the ball before the start of this drive. Coming up with back-to-back catches, especially that catch. Torella, your grandma couldn't thread a needle the way Tommy Utah did right there.
I don't think my grandmother was much of a knitter, so maybe you're probably right about that one. Again into the flat. That time the pass, not fantastic, but B. Robo does come away with it. Tackle made by Garrison.
Yeah, Robo doing the smart thing. Just eat it. Make sure you catch the ball. Curl up into a ball. Becoming the ball. Providing an outer cocoon, if you will, for the ball.
I've never heard it expressed that way. Interesting.
Probably reason for that.
Thrown into the flat. Here's a first down for Louisiana as they just chip away at this Arizona defense, taking the time off the clock. That was Squarebush's second time touching the football today. Has now 1 rush and 1 reception.
Yeah, and this is where early in the season the records could be deceiving. These do not look like 1 and 2 football teams. Obviously, Arizona made the playoffs last year, and Louisiana looking really sharp here as well. Very crisp on the offensive side.
Ooh, that time the route is jumped and knocked away. That was Jordan coming through to knock that one down.
Michael A. Jordan. Just so we're clear, that is not the Michael Jordan. That would be Michael J. Jordan. But Michael A. coming up with a big knockdown there, Michael.
And not the actor Michael B. neither.
And let the record show you are a Michael J. Torillo.
That is correct. Lots of Michaels here tonight. Here's Colin Hart, lowers his shoulder. Once again, the first man doesn't bring him down. It is Joey Tropicana who makes the tackle. 3rd down and 2.
And now in the red zone, you already have the lead. Does the calculus change? You're going to hit the 2-minute warning. Have a little time to think about it.
We have already hit the 2-minute warning. Arizona 3, Louisiana 7, but the Revolution have the ball and are marching to try and extend their lead before the break. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. Stay with us. Michael Trevello, Josh Zirkle calling the action for you from Fatality Field in Arizona. It's throwback night between the Scorpions and the Revolution. And the Revolution are going to have a 1st and goal as there's a nice catch by Chase Earl.
And once again, another nickel and dime route. Chase Earl falls to his tuchus to bring it in. Some mild accuracy issues with Tommy Utah, but they are still completing passes. And Arizona, even still in the red zone, not pressing these Louisiana receivers.
Collier, the fullback, makes the catch out of the backfield, doesn't get very far. And the clock ticks down to 1:50 to go. If you're just joining us, both of these teams are wearing throwback uniforms to when their franchises were in different locations. The Louisiana Revolution, who normally wear green and blue, are in purple and gold and white tonight as Tommy Utah goes down again. 3rd sack of the first half and the 2nd for the 4-time All-Star Hunter Norwood.
Norwood getting great penetration. Even when he's not getting to Utah, he is being a disruptive source. The problem is Louisiana's figured out that they don't have to go around Norwood if they can help it. Most of the time they have.
Again, pressure in Utah's face, but there's a man free near the goal line, and it is complete to B. Robo. 4th and goal at the 4.
And I think the prudent move here is to kick it and go up 7 points. You count on your defense to hold Arizona at least till the half.
And the defense has been doing extremely well so far today for the Revolution. Here is Otis Boudreau in his 4th SFL season for a relative chip shot. From only 20 yards away, it's up, and it is good, and Louisiana takes a 10-3 lead. So to finish my point about the throwback uniforms, if you're just joining us, the Louisiana Revolution are throwing it back to the days when they were the New Orleans Pharaohs. They were wearing purple, gold, and white on the road, and the Scorpions are throwing it back to one of the longest tenured SFL franchises all the way back to season 1, and the Oklahoma City Renegades. They were the Renegades for 13 seasons before Eddie Gage bought the team and moved them to Arizona in season 14.
And you can see why they switched, can't you, Michael? The uniforms, at least?
A little bit. I mean, there's a classic feel to the Oklahoma City Renegades. And maybe that's just because I've been around this league quite a long time and a little bit nostalgic for that old look. It is not the prettiest on the eye, to be sure, but it is a classic. Jackson to the air. This time throws over the middle. Pass complete for 6 yards. But you got to get more than that with only 47 seconds and counting on the clock. They don't use a timeout.
I think if a UPS uniform could take acid, this is what that uniform would look like.
Second down and 4. It's going to be Moses. He's going to go to the outside.
Wow.
It's another tremendous one-on-one tackle by Slin Shady. He is showing up big time tonight. He's got the spy on DJ Moses every time he goes to the short side of the field. And he's going to go that way again. This time picking his way through. Gets a first down, but we will head to the halftime interval with Louisiana. Oh no, Arizona's going to call a timeout with 3 seconds left.
Maybe this will be Ashley Jackson's shot. Maybe she'll unleash the dragon going downfield here. Certainly well within her range. This would only be about a 60-yard throw.
Now we know Jackson has the arm strength.
Dropping acid is what I meant to say earlier. Sorry. My recreational drug verbiage is just not what it used to be. With apologies. Not in a Hail Mary formation here, Michael.
And they're not in the Hail Mary formation with 3 seconds to go. They're just going to hand it off to Moses. Moses breaks the tackle and spins down for a loss of 2. And that will bring us to the halftime break. Louisiana 10, Arizona 3. A low-scoring first half considering the offensive output we know these teams have the capability of doing, John.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tommy Utah right now, difference maker, 173 yards passing in the first half. And connected on that deep strike to B.E. Robo, which set up the only touchdown in this game so far. We've seen a lot of defense, especially on the Louisiana side. Slint Shady and Chuck Diesel, Shady especially, making some big plays to keep Arizona in check. They're going to start the ball with the second half. Let's see if they have an answer.
Arizona going to need to find something different to do on the offensive side of the ball because their game plan, get the ball to DJ Moses in the flat, is currently being shut down by Louisiana.
And I just think they need to find a different way to get there. They're clearing out. So if they have twins on the one side, they're running Moses to the opposite side. And they're going with a single wide-out look here. Let's see if this yields any different results.
I've been wanting for Ashley Jackson to throw down the field this entire game. It's going to be Moses up the middle, and no love as he is bounced to the ground, that time by Blake Craze, the linebacker that we haven't really heard much about from today.
Well, with Slint Shady making all the plays, I mean, Blake Craze could just sit on the sideline under an umbrella with a little pink drink in his hand and just chill out for a little bit.
2nd and 9. Jackson in the gun. Going to throw it out to the far side.
Oof.
And that is Jay Hayden, the tight end. And he'll pick up a first down all the way out to the 34.
And that was magnificent yards after the catch by Jay Hayden. We're going to get another look at it. And you think, oh, I got Jay Hayden right here. No, you don't. Just blasted him.
For a big guy, Jay Hayden, 6'4", 260, excellent work to stay in bounds and walk the tightrope, turn upfield.
I mean, he's a big boy. He looks like he could play guard in this league. Maybe he should be wearing number 60, not number 80.
Jackson finally goes down the middle and fits it into a tight window, and it's Hayden again, or excuse me, that is TJ Punk on the catch that time. Moves the chains, 12-yard gain.
Yeah, and Arizona changing it up here a little bit. Going to that middle, testing that linebacking core with a sort of north and south approach now. Maybe throwing right at Slint Shady will yield different results than having him chase you halfway across the field.
Here is Jackson, going deep, knocked away. She was looking for Ryan Owens, and Rolliman Hood said no thank you.
Yeah, once again, Arizona trying to do a little different than what they did in the first half. So far, no go. 2nd and 10.
But at least Arizona is trying a different approach to try and break down this Louisiana defense. Jackson again, going middle. That's a dart to the 40-yard line into Louisiana territory, 1st down.
Jackson showing great precision here. Has time. Perfect spiral. Right there. Evan Arthur playing a little bit of a cushion there on the slant route. Pretty solid pitch and catch.
Jackson again, and it looks like they may have found the hole in the Louisiana defense. Jay Hayden takes his shot, but picks up another 12 yards.
Yeah, we talked earlier about how they don't use 2 tight ends very often, at least in the passing game. They had both tight ends set up on the left side that time. And you see Hayden there. And then Will Todd on the opposite side of the line. He's on the right side with 2 wide receivers.
Play action. Jackson plenty of time. Throws it short. Jay Hayden again picks up 7 yards and goes out of bounds to the 21. This is the kind of drive that I'm sure the Arizona Scorpions coaching staff would have wanted to see out of the break.
Oh, absolutely. It's exactly the kind of drive you need to have coming out of the locker room. You have the ball to start the 3rd quarter. You're trailing. You need to at least sustain some offense, if not put points on the board. But if they can hang on to the ball here, they'll get at least 3, maybe 7.
Jackson again, time to throw, had one-on-one coverage to the goal line and overshot Ryan Owens.
And I think that was Dante Grimm in coverage, number 47, the rookie. Doing a nice job. A 50-50 ball going up there. Owens comes down with more than his share of those. That's 6'5", 225. And Grimm doing a nice job of going up there and playing some defense.
3rd and 3. This is a huge play for the Louisiana defense. Jackson floats it out there, and it's intercepted. And running back the other way is Rolliman Hood, and nobody is going to catch him. The 8th season veteran, he spent all 8 seasons with this franchise, wearing the old colors and scoring a touchdown.
You know, we talked about Mike Ryan. We talked about Tank Bennett. We didn't talk about Rolliman Hood that much, who makes this big catch and then gets a block that might have been a clip. No flag, though. And Rolliman Hood is going to go the distance all the way to the other end zone for just the 2nd touchdown in this game, Michael.
An offensive touchdown, a defensive touchdown, and Louisiana has suddenly opened up a 2-score gap against Arizona, and that is a heartbreaker for the Scorpions, who had all the momentum coming out of halftime. Were driving down, looked pretty good to try and put it in the end zone, and Rolliman Hood just jumps a corner route in the flat and is able to take it all the way to the house. He has the speed.
Absolutely had the speed and had the lane and had a block that was probably borderline. And I'm surprised that we did not see a flag on that, but Hood had the presence of mind to just grab that, and he left Michael, but hit the ground running, and he managed to run all the way to the other side of the field.
On the return, it'll be Arizona to get the ball once again. Now down 17-3. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net, for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider from the Simulation Football League, and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL, and Arizona goes right back to the well. But the well is dry as Moses is dropped for a loss again.
There's another TFL for Slyn Shady. He has got this play figured out. Probably some pre-snap recognition on his part. But that swing pass to DJ Moses is not going to do what they were able to get out of it early in the first half. And it's unfortunate for Arizona. They took their time going down the field, and now they're down 2 scores. They're going to have to take a couple chances here.
They were starting to pick apart that secondary of Louisiana towards the end of that drive, but they go right back to Moses, and Moses only gets back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 10.
And now 3rd and long, you're playing right into Louisiana's hands with that secondary and then this linebacking core. And the front four has been kind of quiet so far, but if Ashley Jackson's going to take a big drop, they're going to have time to close in.
Only a 3-man front for the Revolution. Jackson has time to air it out, which she does! And running free behind the defense is Connor Weston. And Weston gets all the way inside Louisiana territory. That is what I've wanted to see out of Ashley Jackson all game long.
And there's that post route, and Evan Arthur thinks he's got help from Tank Bennett. Bennett can't quite get there in time. Jackson throws a perfect ball, and that is a huge gain for Weston and Arizona. Exactly the shot in the arm this offense needed.
Jackson now feeling it. Rifles it over the middle to Ryan Owens. Another 1st down inside the red zone.
And just like that, 2 plays later, they're right back where they were moments ago when Moralman Hood had that pick 6. And Ashley Jackson surely wanted a mulligan there. Now she's got it, in a manner of speaking.
And DJ Moses goes down hard for a loss of 4. Whew.
That's a tremendous hit by Blake Craze. And that has really been the story of this game so far. DJ Moses has been neutralized by this outstanding linebacking core. Chuck Diesel, Blake B. Craze, and of course, Slyn Shady.
DJ Moses is going to feel all of these hits when he wakes up tomorrow. Jackson short in the flat. That's Tariano Rivera, the rookie fullback out of San Jose, and it's 3rd and 10. This is almost exactly the situation that we were in when Louisiana got that pick 6 on the last drive, because Arizona had a 3rd down inside the red zone.
The obvious difference, though, Michael, you're down 14 points now instead of down 7.
Jackson against the 3-man rush, floats it out there, knocked away and intercepted on the deflection. It's Rolliman Hood again. He's got 2 straight picks in the red zone, and Louisiana has all the momentum right now.
And that is just awful luck for Ashley Jackson. Take another look at it. That is deflected. That's Dante Grimm, the rookie, that gets the first hand on it. It's tipped again, and Rolliman Hood comes in like a shortstop, barreling to catch a pop fly. Comes up with a catch. Didn't run it to the end zone that time, but didn't have to, obviously.
Utah with a 14-point lead and the ball for Louisiana. Tommy being chased, gets it away to Squarebush. And Squarebush just scampers away from the oncoming Sean Moore.
And this is Louisiana's first possession of the second half. The way this game has been moving, both teams using a lot of clock, not a lot of offensive possessions in the first half, and that's going to be a theme as we head into the game, which adds to the sense of urgency for this Arizona defense.
Play action for Utah goes short, and making the catch and holding on is Cameron Collier. That's his 2nd catch of the game. Nice job to hold on through contact, 3rd down and 1.
And Collier, obviously playing in Louisiana, will have his name called Collier with a sort of Cajun inflection. But obviously when he played at Lone Star, it was Collier and remains so.
Colin Hart, that is Squarebush, picks it up and powers forward into the secondary. 1st down out past the 30. That's the first real big run we've seen from Randy Squarebush today.
It sure is. And he gets nice blocking on here, but he does a nice job of hitting the hole. You see the big block there from number 75 and has a chance to make another move and get a couple extra yards on that block from Collier. And that moves the chains, and that's what exactly with Louisiana expecting out of Randy Squarebush.
That was Joe Thornton with a nice block to spring Squarebush. And now it's Colin Hart back on the field, but they're going to go to the air. And making the catch that time is B. Robo, 2nd down and 3.
And whatever your offensive philosophy is, whether you want to pass, you're pass happy, you want to run the ball, control the clock, the common theme remains that you want to get a lot of yardage on 1st down. So you're not in a 3rd and long type of situation. 2nd and 3, 2nd and 1. Louisiana's been in a lot of these so far, and it's part of the reason why they've been controlling the pace of this game.
Utah underneath. That one deflected away. Nice job by Hey, we got Michael A. Jordan back again.
Not only the A, but also remember the lowercase J. Kind of like Pepsi now. But nice defense here by Jordan. That's a matchup that Louisiana should be winning, but it's not a great ball. It doesn't lead early enough. Michael A. coming up with the PD.
And the way that Utah floated that ball into the flat reminded me of Jackson's pick 6 that she threw. Just kind of lazily played that ball out there. This time it's hit with a bit more venom, and it's almost intercepted by Iverson Gamble.
If Iverson Gamble catches that ball, he is gone. He had a full head of steam. Nobody would have caught him, and it would have been maybe 30 yards to the end zone. Huge missed opportunity for Arizona.
And that brings up a 4th down situation. Walter Milanishin going to have to punt it away. Arizona has had the opportunities to be in this ball game. And that was almost blocked. We saw a blocked punt earlier in the Portland and Carolina game late. It kind of sealed the win for Carolina.
Anytime you can make a big play on special teams, it is earth-shattering for both teams.
2 straight interceptions for this Louisiana defense. One taken all the way back for a touchdown by Rolliman Hood. And then Rolliman Hood got a 2nd one on a deflection. Both of those interceptions coming inside the red zone. So at a minimum, 6 points taken off the board. And even if Arizona just kicks a field goal on both of those trips to the red zone, we have a 1-point game, 10-9.
Yeah, absolutely. And really the difference has been this Louisiana secondary that we've talked about before. In this matchup with Ashley Jackson, we knew was going to be the focal point of this game. And so far that has rung true. And I think Arizona, to their credit, has managed to get down the field without really having to test them. But in the red zone, it's been a different situation. Obviously, Rolliman Hood coming up with both of those picks, but really as a unit, they have been outstanding, this Louisiana secondary.
DJ Moses cuts it back inside, and that time falls forward for a 1st down. Up to 12 interceptions on the season for this Louisiana Revolution secondary. Mike Ryan has 5. Tank Bennett has 4, and now Rolliman Hood has 3. Dante Grimm yet to get his first SFL interception, but I'm sure that will come at some point this season. Jackson, time to throw, rifles it out there, and it's caught. Jay Hayden, who has probably been the most consistent receiver for Arizona out of the tight end spot today, makes that catch.
Yeah, I would agree. Coming up with another catch there, gets off the line, looks like he's going to block, and then runs down the field, gets a little bit of a pick there from the umpire. Kind of surprised to see him way out there and not behind the offensive line. But what are you going to do? And Jay Hayden taking advantage, moving the chains for Arizona.
Hayden, 5 catches on 6 targets, 62 yards. All of those tops on the team today. And it's the 3rd pick in a row for the Louisiana secondary. And this time it's Mike Ryan with his league-leading 6th interception of the season.
And it looked like Ashley Jackson had this. Ryan just comes up there and amazing closing speed. Connor Weston looked like he had it, but Jackson just led Weston a little too much. Weston wasn't there, but Mike Ryan was. And that is the third interception for this Louisiana secondary.
And third in a row. And a jump offside, the third offsides call against Arizona in the ball game.
And Louisiana has to be enjoying this, the way that the clock has been evaporating. Let's see what the call is first.
Number 55, defense, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
You hear the home fans voicing their displeasure.
And remember, first play of the game was a jump offsides from the Arizona defensive line. And maybe that was a bit of foreboding of the game to come so far, but still plenty of chance for Arizona to get back into this, only down 14. The defense has got to step up here. Here goes Colin Hart. He's wrestled down. Excuse me, that was Collier.
Collier's still continuing to get a lot of volume, rivaling Randy Squarebush in terms of volume. 2 carries for each of them. Collier with the edge in pass receptions, 3-2.
Utah under center, hands it off. There is Squarebush. He's got a first down as he ducked under a tackle.
Squarebush getting some great blocking here again. Louisiana winning the battle. And Squarebush had a chance to run, was waiting for somebody to hit him, and then somebody eventually did. That was Everett Garrison coming in. Squarebush showing a bit of inexperience there. Had a chance to run downfield, but instead knew that he had the first down.
Utah play action. Excellent job to get that one into tight window to Anthony Delano, first down.
And now Utah spreading the love. 23 of 30 so far, according to our friends in the stat truck.
We have reached the end of the third quarter. 4's up. It's time for the final frame. Louisiana up by 14 with the football when we come back. This is the Simulation Football League on YouTube. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. On first down, Utah out to his fullback, and Collier gets out past the 30. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. Michael Travello along with Josh Zirkle in the broadcast booth today. Jerry Gond and Phil Cause providing the stats for us tonight. Into the flat it goes. And that's Chase Earl coming up with it.
First and 10.
On second down, Utah in the flat, not much doing there. And once again, if you're just joining us, we have throwback uniforms tonight. Louisiana throwing it back, wearing the purple and gold of the New Orleans Pharaohs, and the green, brown, and yellow of the OKC Renegades being donned by the Arizona Scorpions. Hand off to Squarebush, and he only gets a couple of yards. This uniforms combo was used in the two teams' previous meetings in season 11, both won by New Orleans. And Louisiana has won all 3 of their previous matchups with Arizona across both iterations of the franchise. Shaw short, close to a first down, but not quite close enough. Anthony Delano is going to come up a yard short.
But you see Louisiana not in any hurry to press the issue. Very happy to kick the field goal. and make it a 20-3 game with less than 9 minutes to play. Leave it to Arizona to come up with 3 scores in less than 9 minutes. We've seen some crazy things happening this weekend. 3 scores in 9 minutes, or it's going to be 8.5 minutes now. A very tall order, even for Ashley Jackson in Arizona.
And they're going to have to continue to throw the ball downfield, which really plays into the Louisiana secondary. They have 3 straight interceptions on 3 straight Arizona drives. And really the turning point of this game was the Rolliman Hood pick 6 on the first drive of the third quarter.
Absolutely. Arizona came out of the locker room, drive down the field, looked like they had everything under control. And then Rolliman Hood, with just one play, took that all away. And Arizona's been reeling.
And they're going to start from deep in their own territory, as only up to the 19 goes TJ Punk. 8:18 to go. It's going to have to take some Arizona magic on home soil to get back into this one.
And this is why getting ahead early was so important in this game. Whoever was going to be trailing was going to have to throw into that opposing secondary, and Ashley Jackson drew that short straw.
Jackson moves to her right, throws down the field, and it's a 4th interception in a row for the Louisiana secondary, and this time it's Tank Bennett.
Rolliman Hood has 2, Mike Ryan 1. Tank Bennett comes up with number 5 on the season. You can see that ball is just a little bit high for Connor Weston. Once again, Connor Weston, the intended receiver, and not coming down with the ball, but the opponent is, and this time it's Tank Bennett.
I saw somebody earlier mention the Louisiana secondary, referring to them as the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Interceptions.
That is a fantastic nickname.
Maybe that one will stick. As that is the 14th interception of the season in 4 games for this Louisiana secondary.
And Mike Ryan has had a pick in every one of those games. Remarkable.
Do I hear quarter season defensive player of the year? Front runner, potentially. Hand off to the fullback, Collier. We could be seeing a lot of him in the last 7 minutes and 50 seconds.
Entirely possible. They certainly have their choice of folks. It's not like either one has gotten terribly winded. Colin Hart leading the pack right now with only 6 carries and 7 receptions. Plenty of tread left on the tire for Colin Hart, to say nothing of Collier and Squarebush.
Over the middle, another first down as the Revolution just keep chipping away.
Joey Tropicana trying to make a hit, trying to make something happen. See if he can get that ball loose. Try and create some kind of turnover. Anything that gives this team a chance to get back into this game.
In the flats. And B. Robo makes the catch, tackled out of bounds by Parker Thomas.
And that clock continues to run. Take a look at it again, just a little 5 and out. They're not doing anything special, but they're still keeping this Arizona secondary on their heels with these short routes.
I checked that. That was Iverson Gamble on the tackle on the last play. It's second down and a manageable 3 just outside the red zone. They give it to the fullback, and Collier gets back to the line of scrimmage and not a whole lot more.
And that seems just fine with Louisiana and that 23 personnel. And all that means is 2 running backs, 3 tight ends. They're not trying to throw the ball. They're not even necessarily trying to get the first down, although they would certainly enjoy that. They just want to kill clock here.
They're going to go to the air, check it down off the 5-step drop. Colin Hart back in the game. 1 spin move gets him the first down.
And just like that, you've got a fresh set of downs to work with, and that clock keeps running. And Arizona is a great football team. Father Time is undefeated, especially in the SFL.
And Louisiana is doing tonight what Tulsa did to them last week, and that is completely take away one aspect of the game. Tulsa took away Louisiana's run game completely last week, and Louisiana has completely neutered Arizona's passing game today.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Arizona throws the challenge flag out, you know, Moses has not had a terrible game on the ground. We have him at 42 yards on 9 carries. That's almost 5 yards a pop. But they've continued to try this swing route package that was not working, that Louisiana had sniffed out. And I don't know, that looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, 5 yards a carry, but only 9 carries. That's the key part of that statistic.
That's true.
And Arizona loses the challenge, is charged a timeout.
Second down.
And the biggest part of that 9 carries, Michael, is that by the time Arizona realized what was working, it was too late. They had to become one-dimensional, and they had to continue throwing the ball, and that's where that Louisiana secondary stepped in.
In the flat to Colin Hart, powers forward, 10 yards and a first down. That is going to be first and goal at the 6, and a score here for Louisiana would pretty much hammer the nail into the coffin of Arizona Scorpions' hopes of winning this ball game.
And I believe this is the first goal to go for either team, as you see Colin Hart get inside the 5 there.
No, Colin Hart scored on a swing route from the 4-yard line in the first quarter.
That feels like 100 years ago.
It does, even though it's only been less than an hour. This game has flown by.
It really has.
Handoff. Square Bush looking for his first SFL touchdown. It won't come on that play. Second down.
And Square Bush trying to get some short yardage opportunities here.
Excuse me, he has 1 touchdown on the season, looking for his first touchdown of the game.
He did have a touchdown in the first week of the season against Sioux Falls.
Power eye again. This time Colin Hart dots it. On second and goal, they go weak side, and Colin Hart walks in untouched for the dagger touchdown for Louisiana.
Just paint by numbers. Very close to a trademark Colin Hart run around the left side this time. Great blocking up front. You can see the big heavies up there. And he just picked Joey Tropicana. Tropicana got stuck behind the other pair being blocked. And Colin Hart could have just walked it in from that point.
Yeah.
This has just been a tremendous effort, especially on the offensive side, but for both sides of the ball for Louisiana tonight.
Inside the 5, Colin Hart's your guy, and if that's not his catchphrase, it should be. As he walks into the end zone for his second touchdown today, 1 receiving and 1 rushing, both from inside the 5-yard line. Extra point up and good, 27-3. Louisiana has come all the road to Arizona and put together a monumental performance as they will get back to 2-2.
And that's obviously great news for Louisiana. Arizona, meanwhile, people are going to look at that 1-3 record and wonder what's happening. And the truth is not that much. I mean, this is still a really good team. Still great pieces there. And Louisiana came to play. They had an edge in this matchup historically. They've never lost to this franchise, whether it was Arizona, OKC, whether they were wearing Scorpion Orange or UPS on acid, brown and gold, or whatever this is. Louisiana's had their number, and they had it tonight.
And Arizona last season, 7-5, made the semifinals in the playoffs. And away goes Ashley Jackson over the right-hand side. Ryan Owens makes the catch, which If they had made the championship game last season, it would have been the franchise's first trip to the finals since season 2.
And that's a bit of history. And they were even closer, in my opinion, the season before. In a game that came down to the wire, and I want to say that was against Baltimore. I defer to the historians of the SFL, of which I am probably the least qualified.
That is actually, season 1 is pre-SFL history. Cam was here. I believe that was the New York Knights that won the first ever SFL championship game, but I might be wrong. Over the middle, close to a first down.
We have a Will Todd sighting.
Todd. Jackson outside. Moses first down. Up-tempo offense coming out for Arizona. Maybe just trying to get to the end zone before this game is over.
Slim Shady again. And Slim Shady again.
Man, it's going to be hard to, with 4 interceptions and 2 by Rodman Hood, it's going to be hard to take the defensive player of the game away from Rodman Hood. But man, Flynn Shady has done an excellent job tonight and probably would be my pick for player of the game.
Yeah, I would think so. And yeah, as you said, it's not going to show up on the stat sheet. But, well, there's a rare miss for him right there. But, you know, I think that neutralizing DJ Moses, as we've said, just set all the other dominoes to fall. Ashley Jackson had to throw it deep, and that was where those interceptions came from.
So, I was correct. Let's throw the Wayback Machine all the way back to 2013. The league's first season had 7 teams, one of them the Oklahoma City Renegades. They got all the way to the finals and lost to the New York Knights, who is the other franchise from back in those days that is still around right now, called the Queen City Corsairs. So there's your SFL history lesson for today.
I feel enlightened.
Jackson, middle. Todd, caught inside the 5.
Do they throw it here?
They might. Jackson will go to the air. She's going to go to the corner of the end zone, and it's almost intercepted again. Rolliman Hood in coverage knocks it away.
And Rolliman Hood probably has sore fingers, as evidenced by that dropped pick there, and would have had a chance to run that one for at least a decent return. But Ashley and Arizona now have a chance to huddle. And let's see if they give this to DJ Moses one more time, who, as we mentioned earlier, been fairly productive on the ground.
Jackson to the air, to the goal line. Touchdown, OKC.
D Rose, the backup. That's the number 4 wide receiver in this offense. And if everybody else is covered, then why not? Get the matchup you want. D Rose, all of 6 foot, 200 pounds. Draws a good matchup. I think that's Chuck Diesel matched up against him, and Rose gets just enough across the goal line for Arizona's first and probably only touchdown of the game.
Well, Arizona gets a dead time touchdown with 2 minutes remaining. The other game on the late block tonight has gone final over on Twitch. The Sioux Falls Sparrows have defeated the Las Vegas Fury 29-17. That was the 10th meeting all time between those two franchises, but it's the first time the road team has won as the Sparrows get the job done out in Sin City.
And Sioux Falls looking pretty sharp as well, and they've come on strong over the last few weeks. Last couple weeks, I should say, since our season is only a few weeks old.
The Sparrows now up to 2-2. They've gone loss-win through their first 4 games. The ball is laying on the ground to be picked up, and it is eventually grabbed by Louisiana.
That's Hooper Xavier.
Hooper Xavier playing special teams and picking up the onside kick. 2:05 to go. This next play will get us to the 2-minute warning.
It looks like we got the backups in, Michael. Our America's favorite, Uska Lafouche. I'm sure going to get a note from Ross about how I pronounce that. But he's in.
I was going to go with LaForce. But here is Squarebush. Maybe going to get some good running against the backups on the Arizona defense.
And why not? You know, when you're this young, you need to get all the development you can.
That'll take us to a 2-minute warning. Louisiana well on top of Arizona 27-10 in the Desert Simulation Football League on YouTube. Handoff up the middle, and Squarebush picks up a first down. Arizona calls timeout. Coverage of the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports continues next Saturday, February 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Foes Louisiana and Atlanta clash in a fight for the always crowded top of the East Division. Also a fight to see who the best team who wears light green and blue is. Then Mexico City will face Baltimore, out for vengeance after the Vultures scored 10 points in the final 2 minutes of last season's semifinal en route to their second straight championship. Will the Aztecs be able to halt the Vultures' recent reign of dominance? Visit NLSC.com to find Next Level Sports in your area.
And congratulations to Louisiana on putting together a good game plan and neutralizing one of the better weapons in the SFL and DJ Moses. And I am now being told that it's pronounced Whiska Lafouche.
Since we're in the SFL's Wayback Machine tonight, Josh, we know about two of the teams that played in the inaugural season of the SFL, the Oklahoma City Renegades and the New York Knights, who contested the final. Can you name the other 5 teams?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even name one if my life depended on it.
I know a lot of people in chat can probably do it because they were around back then. And I couldn't do it unless I have the list in front of me, which I do. The other 5 teams to contest in Season 1 all the way back in 2013 were the Dallas Stars, the Grand Rapids Rollers, the Kailua Wyverns, the Orlando Intimidators, and the San Francisco Bulldogs.
I would not have gotten one of those. And I could have sat here all day. But, you know, it shows how much this league has evolved and how much the teams have evolved. Obviously, both of these teams wear different uniforms on the reg now, but they are significant. The history is significant. And that's part of what makes this league special, is that it has been around for so long. A lot of people involved, a lot of teams involved, a lot of history. It's pretty great.
Thousands of games and hundreds of players on the field in league history, as Louisiana has hit 30 as Otis Boudreaux puts the chip shot field goal up and good.
Gorgeous form. Look at that.
Yeah, and they are, I don't think they're going to score again, Louisiana, but this is their second best offensive output of the season. Beat Sioux Falls 34-12 in week 1.
And what's funny, in this matchup, as we mentioned, Louisiana's 3-0 against Arizona. In every single one of those first 3 matchups, Louisiana scored 34 points. And they look poised to walk out of here with 30 points and another win and a 4-0 all-time record against Arizona.
And now we got to turn our minds to the ever-present question of who gets player of the game for Louisiana. There are so many good options.
I mean, it's got to be Rolliman Hood. I mean, I just feel like that is the simplest answer. 2 interceptions, 1 went for a touchdown, and really put a dagger in the chances of Arizona in that first drive in the second half.
I'm still going to go with Slin Shady. He was pretty much single-handedly responsible for shutting down DJ Moses in the passing game as the clock is stopped with 8 seconds to go.
I cannot argue with Slin Shady at all. I think that would be a terrific choice, but I have a feeling that I know which way this is going to go. And I would hope it goes to Rolliman Hood.
Louisiana's second week in a row with 4+ interceptions as a unit. Had 4 last week, have 4 again this week. Jackson back to pass. Fires it out there, 4 seconds left.
Temper's flaring.
A little bit between two of the backups. I think I saw Joe Thornton, the guard for Louisiana, out there.
I think it was Brian Craven.
It might have been Brian Craven.
The defensive end. Making sure he got himself on TV. Well, good job, Brian.
And
success.
I think something that the Arizona team has done very well today is block for Ashley Jackson.
Yes.
And they've done that all season. She's only taken 1 sack so far this year.
And none today, and really no pressure either.
And that makes it all the more amazing that Louisiana was able to reel off those 4 consecutive interceptions in the third quarter.
And Mike Ryan, who obviously had the third of those 4, actually has 6 in a row, dating back to the last season. And obviously has 1 in every game this season, at least 1.
That'll do it. As the clock hits 0, it's a 20-point Revolution lead to wrap up the throwback game and to wrap up Week 4 of the SFL season. Final stats and highlights scrolling across your screen right now. Neither team really got great running the ball tonight. Just 69 rushing yards for Louisiana, 47 for Arizona.
Yeah, and there it is, the magic moment. Rolliman Hood taking this one back to the his. Just tremendous effort, and really, when Arizona got it down the field and it looked like they were going to score, it was 10-3 at that point in the game. That pick six made it 17-3, and really it just changed the entire complexion of the game. You couldn't go to DJ Moses anymore, and you couldn't lay off the Louisiana secondary anymore. And as you mentioned, Michael, Ashley Jackson had to just go back to the well, and each time there was somebody else there. It was Rolliman Hood again, and then Mike Ryan, as you just saw right there, and then Tank Bennett. And Louisiana, to their everlasting credit, capitalized on every single one of those, got a field goal, and then Colin Hart's second touchdown of the game after the Tank Bennett interception. So often we see teams in this league that aren't able to capitalize on the turnovers, but Louisiana did. They got ahead in this game, and they stayed ahead in large part to that secondary.
Time to find out who the player of the game is. That is the touchdown to put the game well and truly out of reach from Colin Hart as he walked in from inside the 5. 2 touchdowns today from Hart, both from inside the 5, 1 passing, 1 rushing. I didn't really notice this touchdown that Ashley Jackson threw to D. Rose. It was a bit of a duck, and Rose did good to hang on to it at the goal line.
Absolutely. And sometimes those short yardage ones are the easiest to catch, and Ford, maybe a backup in the depth chart, but as a starter in his own heart, and came through there for his team. And obviously the garbage time field goal for Boudreaux. And I think it is going to be Rolliman Hood.
Player of the game? Oh, it's going to be Tommy Utah. 257 yards, 1 touchdown. That's a nice quarterback rating, 99.3.
Yes.
Much better performance than he had last week. A real turnaround by this Louisiana team. That'll do it from us from Fatality Field. For Phil Cos and Jerry D on Stats, Josh Zirkle was in the booth with me. My name is Michael Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and have a very pleasant good evening. We'll see you in Week 5.